What up, though? I'll be right back. Kane, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's the name of? What's the name of what? The name of the beat? The track? Oh, he wanna know my beat list. Look at you, Kane. Hey man, ain't you killed your brother? Huh? The first murderer wanna come in and ask me what beats I'm listening to. Oh my god. I'm not gonna tell you, I'ma just turn it up louder so you can hear it better. Talking about what? What's the name of the track? Ooh. my channel, just go to my playlist. Go to my YouTube channel, go to my playlist, and there's a playlist called Beats. Now, what I did with my beat list, I actually reversed it. So now it's going in order from the oldest tracks to the newest tracks I saved on my list. I don't know if you would have to reverse it and do it the same, or if you go to my beat list, will it play the newest beats I added to there first? I don't know. But this is the very first beat that I saved on my beat list. That's why when I flip it to the oldest to the newest, this is the first one that comes up, yo. It is so nice. It is so smooth. It's a little bit too slow for me to freestyle to it. I just love this shit sound, bro. I done listened to this beat for an hour just on repeat, sitting in the studio, drawing and painting, and play that shit back, play that shit back, play that shit back. It's so chill and calm, and then like the vocal overlay, you can hear it clearly, but it's not like too much where it fucking kills the beat, yo. I don't know, it's a whole fucking vibe, yo. This beat is so nice. So I got me some tequila, Jose Cuervo. You gotta sip this. You can't drink tequila. You gotta sip tequila. It's better if you like actually make a sippy sound. Watch. That sound right there. If you make that sound, it tastes better. Yeah, it tastes real good like that. Perfect music, bro. Whoever laid that track, man, you get my approval as an engineer. You did your thing with this one, bro. XXXTentacion Tupac type beat. I got some tequila. Well, look, I got 2 half of doobies, which makes 1 whole doobie. And I'm in the studio about to do some art and chilling with the first murderer. Hey. Don't get offended because I call you the first murderer. I'm just speaking facts. I read that shit. It's written down in this old ass book. Bibliosa, some shit. Anyway, I read about you, man, in the headlines. Cain slew his brother Abel. Like, where your brother? I don't know. You don't know. As his blood leaking out his head. It's fucked up, man. Ooh, we about to cipher, huh? Let me pass mine off real quick. Pass me yours, and I'll pass you mine. Here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know what? I'll blow your shotgun real quick. Ooh, you got it? Damn, that shit was nice. Wait a minute, I gotta blow myself a shotgun now. Ooh, smoking can be fun, yo. Gotta figure out a way to play with it. Oh, I got that sitting over there too. I'm about to be fucked up in here, bro. Not the tequila and a little Angry Orchard. Oh boy. Alright, so I got a commission I'm gonna work on now. Damn, I meant to bring a trash bag up here. My little trash can is getting full of shit. So I'm about to work on this commission piece for actually a high school classmate. I do a lot of commission work. My commissions aren't cheap. My commissions are way more cheaper than my original paintings. Like one of my original paintings like this, That shit right there is like $6,000 if you want to own this piece. If you want me to take this off my wall and give it to you, you gotta give me $6 grand for that. But it's a really good piece. Now with my commissions, I can do commission paintings for like $700-800, depending on how big. Like I did a really big commission for like $2,000, but they wanted a big ass canvas and it was all this and all that. I'm from the States. I'm from the southern part of the United States. The state I'm from actually has South in the name, South Carolina. So I'm from the southern part of the East Coast of the United States. Um, so yeah, my commissions that I do for people like $700-800. Uh, I just felt like being nice. And yesterday I put a post on Facebook. I said, hey, anybody commissions me for a painting right now, I'll do that shit for $200. For $200. I said I'm only accepting 10 slots for $200 paintings. And only 3 people hit me up. 3 people. I guess motherfuckers don't really love art like that because I never ever do paintings for $200. I just don't. I put too much time and effort into it. My technique and my craft is excellent, and I feel I need to be handsomely compensated for my abilities. So, he's from the baby from North Carolina. He from North Carolina. That's the one thing about the state that I'm from, South Carolina. We have no musicians. Like there is nobody really famous from my state, yo. There are some famous people, but not like musical acts. You know what I'm saying? If you ever watch The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God, Charlemagne, he's from South Carolina. Um, if you ever watch The Colbert Report with Stephen Colbert, Stephen Colbert is from South Carolina. If you, what's the other guy? There's one other well-known person who's from South Carolina, but like as far as singing and rapping and all that shit, South Carolina ain't got nobody. Nobody. The shit corny as fuck, yo. I don't know why it's like that. I used to rap and make music back in the day, and I couldn't get no traction. I was really disenfranchised. I was disheartened. I was saddened. I was a little bit depressed that nobody in the state really can find that momentum to become like a superstar. Oh, it ain't. Oh, it ain't hard to price your own work, bro. Not for me. Personally for me, it ain't hard. That's why my whole house look just like this room, yo. Every room in my house has paintings all on the walls, bro. My house is a gallery everywhere. And it's because nobody is willing to pay me what I want from my art. That painting right there, I want $7,000 for that painting. I want five for this painting. This painting right here, I want $8,000 for that painting. And if no one gives me $8,000, it'll sit right there on my wall, and I'll enjoy it, and I'll keep it, and I'll take care of it, and I'll look at this bitch every day because I want what I want for it. I don't find it is that's hard to price it up. I put an ass of work into that painting. All them books on that shelves, all the lettering and the words on each book, the suit that I'm wearing, the fabric and all that shit, man. Like that's $8,000, yo. Black Zach from South Carolina? Who the fuck is Black Zach? Okay, I'm gonna look up Black Zach. See, that's what I'm saying right there already. Now you say Black Zach from South Carolina, but look, as soon as this video comes on, it says Orlando, Florida, right there. That's how Orlando, Florida. Come on, bro. I knew another cat like that. A dope ass rapper, yo. Dope ass rapper. Motherfucker had flow. He had bars, punchlines. He had the look. But he couldn't get no traction in South Carolina. He moved down to Florida and he kept rapping. And then in his music, he started telling people he's from Florida. Oh, rapping Dade County, something, 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 something. I'm like, you not from Dade County, bro. You're from Darlington County, because I know you from South Carolina. So you leave the state and try to reinvent yourself and give yourself a different identity and persona and make people think you're from Florida so you can have a better opportunity of blowing. But it's weird as shit. Like, this dude, he's from, as soon as the video comes on, it's like, oh, we're in Florida. But I see right here though, on his charm, it says, that shit right there says Carolina. So he is repping Carolina. Know that featuring Fugino? How you say this nigga name? Smoke Gambino. I gotta ask my homie if he ever heard of these cats, yo. Let me see. Let me send this link to my homeboy, cause I ain't never heard these niggas. This motherfucker all the way from UK. The first murderer from the UK putting me up on American music. I sure appreciate it. Thank you. That's what's up. Yo, how you hear about Black Zach? Man, my homie told me about Black Zach way back in the day, man. You don't even know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker say he had 100,000 when he was 18. I don't doubt it. I didn't have it. My cousin had that shit though. You know what I'm saying? My cousin was the man, yo. South Carolina, yo, motherfucker move shit down there, bro. The dirty South, boy. And then the city I lived in, yo, is crazy. Like, we had two major highways that came directly through our city. I mean, they ran through the city. So I-95, Interstate 95 runs the entire length of the East Coast. It runs from Florida all the way up to Maine. Interstate 95. That shit comes right through my fucking city, yo. I-95 comes through my city. So all the cocaine and drugs from Florida, when they moved that shit up north, it gotta come through my city. There's no way around it. If you're taking 95, you gotta come through my town, yo. And then there's Interstate 20. Now, I-95 goes north and south. Interstate 20 goes east and west. And Interstate 20 will take you all the way to fucking Texas. From Texas all the way to the East Coast. And that shit ends in my city. It's crazy, yo. So all the weed and all the shit from the Midwest, they coming to the East Coast. If you take I-20, that shit gotta come in my city, yo. It gotta come in my city. All the coke from Florida, that shit gotta go through my city. Yo, our city was in the 90s. Man, that shit been crazy, bruh. Super. Man, that shit been so stupid in the 90s. Boy, I swear to fucking God. Yo, that was just money. I dropped out of high school. I ain't even finished high school, bro. I was making too much money. Nigga, I was 18. I already had 2 cars and a crib. I was like, fuck school, man. I dropped out, yo. I was in that shit, yo. And my cousin, like, was copping, like, kilos, or we call them birds. Motherfucker getting birds like it ain't shit. Copping 2.2 pounds of cocaine, hard bricks of coke, yo. And then I was like a flunky, you know what I'm saying? And they caught the big weight, and they break shit down, and then I'm out there moving work and getting a little money off that shit. But I ain't had no 100,000 when I was 18, but shit, by the time I was 19, 20, I know I had about 30 grand, yo, just money, cash, like $30,000 cash, yo. I was good when I was younger, man, but shit got all fucked up, yo. Yep. Yo, I'm telling you, everything from Texas come straight my way. Everything from Florida come straight my way. Right up, you ain't had to go nowhere, yo. You get motherfuckers, all the connects. The connects sending they motherfucking mules. They sending all the mules out our way anyway, yo. I ain't had to. The only time I had to travel is when I fucking actually trafficked drugs. One time was like when ecstasy first came out, yo. For some reason, there wasn't any like large shipments of ecstasy coming through our area at all, like none. And me and my homie, we had to drive to fucking Georgia to get that shit, yo. We had to drive all the way out to Georgia and bring that shit back. And then like I lived in the northern part for a long time, like in Philadelphia, and they had a different drug up there. When I moved to Philly, people were smoking embalming fluid. I ain't never seen this shit. I ain't never heard of this shit, yo. And then when I went back down south, I was trying to get people on that shit, yo. Like, yo, my homeboy Pops, this motherfucker owns a funeral home. Yo, he works at a funeral home. I'm like, bruh, man, you got access to the fluid, nigga. You're like, yo, it's a drug, nigga. Motherfucker smoke this shit, bruh. Yo, we got some embalming fluid and started making sherm sticks, taking Newports and just dipping the Newport in embalming fluid, selling them shits like $25 a pop, yo, killing that shit, yo. Yo, Northeast Gas, he got that gas. Yo, check out my Instagram. Yo, go to my Instagram. Everything is paintings by the Prince, yo. You go to my Instagram and like a picture, I give you 10 cool points right now. Nah, I never tried it, bro. They say it's a drug, but this is the only thing I've ever done is marijuana and alcohol, tobacco, like light shit. This isn't legal, but you can buy tobacco, you can buy alcohol. Never tried, bro. I've never done. They say it's a drug, but I don't consider this a drug. So I'll tell people, honestly, I've never done drugs other than what a doctor has prescribed for me. If I got the flu and they fucking give me some whatever, antibiotics. I had surgery recently. I fucking tore my, you probably can't see it. It still look kind of nasty. So I tore my Achilles tendon. You see the scar right there? I had to have surgery to put my Achilles tendon back together. And the doctors gave me fucking They gave me yo, what's that strong shit, yo? Oxycontin. Yo, them bitches gave me oxycodone. Same shit. They gave me oxycodone for the pain. And I needed that shit, bro. I ain't never felt nothing. Boy, I ain't never felt nothing like that in my life. And the crazy thing is, when I tore my Achilles tendon, that shit hurt. But the day after the surgery, like after they repaired that shit, it hurt worse than the fucking injury itself. But that was the first time in a long time I almost cried, yo. I don't really cry. I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? But yo, that pain was so fucking bad, yo. I almost fucking cried, yo. I'm just like, yo, and you can't do shit about it at all. Then that shit is in a fucking cast, and it's just like, and yo, I'm in there like every 6 hours, oxycodone. And that shit ease up. Then about 6-7 hours later, that shit start coming back. I'm back on them damn pills. Oxycodone, nigga. Yo, but other than that, like, and then that shit is, like, when I started to heal and the pain subsided a little bit, and then I remember one time the pain wasn't really bad, and I just took an oxycodone. I took that shit and I was like, it made the pain go away, but it was like it felt extra, and I was like, I don't like how I feel, yo. And I still got like a handful of them shits, because that was the last time I took one. Like after that, I just dealt with the pain, yo, because like I said, the pain started to subside a little bit, where it wasn't like, it's not about to make me fucking cry. And I just stopped taking them pills, yo, because I don't see how people take that shit just for fun. Like, that's how you want to feel like that? Like, just for the hell of it. Like, no thank you, yo. No thank you. I'm good on that, yo. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the strongest drug I've ever taken. I take one other thing, though. It's called Cranum, or some people say Kratom or Cranum. But that's just, it's natural as well. It's just a ground up leaf. Just like marijuana is a dried out leaf. You take a plant, you dry it out, and you set that bitch on fire. Simple as that. And cranum, you make tea out of it. And so you take a leaf, you dry it out, and you grind it down into a powder, and you put it in some hot water and drink that shit. So it's natural. But like drugs, man, I ain't never do drugs, man. Cocaine, I know cocaine come from the coca plant. The coca plant is just a plant. Now, if I go to South America and find a fucking coca plant, yo, that's the cocaine plant. I'm gonna take one of them leaves off that plant and chew that bitch, yo, cause motherfuckers say that shit give you a stimulant, a sensation of whatever the plant does. I'll do that. But man, you gotta take the plant and you do this and you add ether to it and you gotta put it in this process and then do that and you get this little white powder. Oh no, that's a drug. That's drugs. That ain't nothing like the damn plant. That shit don't even look the same. You know what I'm saying? That's just like that wax and shatter and dabs and all that shit. Man, oh, it's THC. Yeah, that shit don't look like weed though, man. What y'all did to the plant? Y'all done took the plant, y'all done put alcohol on and pressed it and did all this other shit and extract all this shit and then, like, man, y'all making drugs out the weed? How y'all turn weed into a drug? I can't be doing all that shit, man. Man, look, man, that's too much for me, bro. That's too much for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I can function on RPMs like that. That seems like too many RPMs for me. I ain't trying to get all amped up and shit. I be trying to chill, man. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to chill. A little bit of downers. I already got enough energy and spunk. You know what I'm saying? I be just trying to mellow out. You know what I'm saying? Because if I ain't mellow, man, I might knock niggas. I might be walking around here just knocking people out. Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck you too, bitch. You know, but I have some doobies and some tequila motherfuckers be like, fuck you. I be like, you have a good day, man. Sorry you having a bad day, bro. I hope you have a better day tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You know, I be trying to calm down. Guys, appreciate you stopping in, man. Yo, holla at me next time when you got some free time. All right. This is all day. I done work all day for the boss, man. So I gotta come home and work for myself for a little while. That's what I try to tell people, man. Look, if you work all day for somebody else, man, you work 8, 10, 12 hours a day for somebody else. You need to work for yourself for at least 1 hour a day. I don't give a fuck what it is or what you doing. Even if it ain't nothing but a little craft or a little hobby or whatever. But you give all your time to somebody else like that, man, you gotta make at least 1 hour to work for yourself, to work towards something that you want. You know what I'm saying? Because you working at a job, that's somebody else's dream. Somebody had a dream of starting a trucking company or starting a telecommunications business, and that was their dream. And you're working for them, making their dream a success. Whatever your dream is, you need to work on that shit. 1 hour a day, every day. The same way you work for somebody else every day, you need to work for yourself. Oh, this nigga. Oh, this nigga. I might cut mine and start back over, man. I ain't gonna lie. Cause my shit like kind of, I don't know, man. COVID then set in and everything. But I honestly want my shit to be like pretty dreads. I ain't gonna lie, man. I want pretty dreads. I want my shit like neat in blocks. You know, like the movie stars and the actors be having their dreads. Cause my shit just, I got the motherfucker goddamn, I don't know, man, the bird nest sitting up there. My girl like it, so, you know, hey, that shit don't bother me. As long as my girl don't care. But honestly, she done told me that you need to cut your shit. You no longer had this hair. I had this hair like over 10 years, man. I grew them one time and then cut them. And then when I started growing them back, I was like, I ain't gonna cut them again. This is like 12 years now. My hair grows slow as shit, yo. It's 12 fucking years. But I don't know. I'll be 40 this year. And I told myself when I turned 40, I was gonna cut it anyway and just be like conservative, you know? A neat low haircut. Have some waves or something. But I'm really attached to my shit, though. You know what I'm saying? I know older guys with dreads, like Jay-Z got his freeform dreads. Yo, Jay-Z dreads look all crazy and shit. And he in his fucking late 40s. You know? I might just keep my shit. I don't know, man. I keep thinking about, like, putting more of them together, yo. Like, bundling a couple of them up. And just having, like... I started out with, like, 80 dreads. And now I got, like, 40 dreads. 40 or 50 or something like that. And then I was thinking, like, what if I drop that shit down and I just had, like 10 to 15 of these big Jones like that, yo. I don't know. It's just hair though, man. It's just hair. Don't get too attached to it. That shit'll grow back. It ain't nothing but hair. I work in the office too, you know what I'm saying? I work I work for a non-profit in like a little office building. I be wearing my shit like, don't say shit about my hair, bro. Don't ever call or nothing like that. I'm doing the same job that everybody else is doing. You gonna love these dreads. Fuck you talking about? Hell, real try, nigga, you knew that. And you knew that. Got the iPhone, money got my mind gone, got it nigga looking like who that? A lot of niggas wonder how you do that. Self-made nigga, and you knew that. Fuck with my chains on AP, honeycomb, about to get 100 gone, nigga, I'ma move that. A lot of niggas wonder how you do that. Real trap nigga, and you knew 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 that. Yeah, real trap nigga, and you knew that. Fuck it, I'ma fly another bitch out. Ride around the city with the stick out. This song make a tough nigga bitch out. I almost caught about it, but I missed out. Still get a thrill off the pad when I'm moving. Shoot it like Nike, ain't nothing but to do it. Beat the pot just like a thought run through it. Young rich nigga, trap niggas I influence. Bought a Lamborghini, but I still love a Buick. I was putting things on the plane with the stewardess. They say they getting it, but we know that's cap. They don't get money like that. Made a couple million off the iPhone. Money got my mind gone. Got a nigga looking like who that? A lot of niggas wonder how you do that. Self-made nigga, and you knew that. Fuck it with my chains on AP, honeycomb, about to get 100 gone, nigga, I'ma move that. Real trap nigga, and you knew 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 that. Made a couple million, couple big mama ain't shit. I'm a woman rich, tryna whip up a whole brick. Or the big guy mad for you on the whole list. Turn the lights off, bet I look like a glow stick. Man, I can jewel like birds of a feather. Them is that like birds, so you know we fly together. I was getting hair from you, be around in the tubs. And I gave the boy an autograph from a dirty fella. I'm a bitch boss girl, I own like a pro bitch. Had to crank chop up, boy, I want some oatmeal. Everybody thick of hair like it was some oatmeal. Been drunk, Dr. Boy, boy, I ran the whole pill. Me, not the iPhone, money got my mind gone. Got a nigga looking like who that? A lot of niggas wonder how you do that. Self-made nigga, and you knew that. Fuck it with my chains on AP, honeycomb, about to get 100 gone, nigga, I'ma move that. A lot of niggas wonder how you do that. Real trap nigga, and you knew 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 that.
Google-Fi, a phone plan by Google. Meet Simply Unlimited, our most affordable plan for unlimited data, calls, and texts.
Alright, I just smoke it and drink it. I need to draw some shit. I gotta get drawing, yo. I definitely got it. Bam, 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 bam. Got the little sketch started. Bam, 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 bam. Real trap nigga, and you knew that. Alright, where's the picture? Oh my god, dropping shit. Drop something else. Now what can I listen to while I do this? No. I don't even know why it clicked on that library. Let's see. There was one video that I started watching and I didn't finish. It was like street epistemology, I think. I guess not. could have swore I started watching that video. Oh well. You know what? It might have been on. Oh, that's probably why.
I don't have a straight razor or anything. I definitely wouldn't straight razor my crotch. Whoa. Manscaped, makers of premium men.
All right, hang on 1 second here. Hang on, guys.
Hang on for what?
So that's real. If this is really a ground operation, this is a huge, huge news. Yeah, see, look. Parallel universe. Ground troops operate. Not be a full. This might not be. Look, this doesn't mean it's a full ground operation. What you could have is maybe there's some kind of limited ground attack going on, right? So I think that's a good. I think that's a good way of putting it. Ground troops operating in Gaza. It doesn't mean it's a full invasion. It means that they have some ground troops who are here. Look, see, look, here it is, right here. IDF air and ground troops are currently attacking in the Gaza Strip. So doesn't mean they've launched a full invasion. Maybe they put 100 troops in there to do certain things. But what happened is we just saw on the live streams, we saw about 10 minutes of just 10 to 15 minutes of these enormous amount of explosions. So it looked like there was heavy airstrikes and artillery going on in Gaza, and now we hear this. So this is very big news. You do not. I mean, again, I don't know that this is the official beginning of a ground operation, but it's very rare. It's rare to see ground troops going in and having it be acknowledged. I mean, maybe they send special ops troops and they don't tell you about it. This is a huge deal for them to be sending ground troops in and acknowledging it. But again, the idea of Israeli ground forces going into Gaza is not. Israel is not going to take over Gaza. Israel is not going to wipe out Gaza. If Israel is sending in ground troops, it's because they're going to take operations to reduce the rocket firing capacity of Gaza, of Hamas and Gaza. In 2014, there was a war between Israel and Gaza, but it's not. I mean, the point was not for Israel to wipe Gaza off the map. Israel invaded Gaza in 2014 to take out some of the Gaza tunnel network and to stop them from launching so many rockets. So you shouldn't think of this as like, oh, Israel and Gaza are fighting each other to the death. This is, if Israel is sending ground troops into Gaza, it's going to have a specific goal, which is going to be doing something to reduce the attacks, whatever that is. Israel has way more military capacity than Gaza. That's out of the question. But I don't know that this is like a full invasion. It could be, maybe they sent in some troops. Remember too also that they could send in, I would assume Israel could send in special operations forces and not announce it. So it's very interesting that they announced it, right? Because I would be shocked if Israel didn't have the capability of sending in small groups of troops to Gaza secretly, and then they would just never say it. So they're announcing it. They're making it public. But yeah, this is a really big deal. Oh, I should air and ground troops attacking Gaza. I want to say troops. They use the word troops in their English language post. So I'm going to change this to troops. That's better. Okay, so huge news. Air and ground troops attacking Gaza, says Israel. Breaking news. Widespread power outages in Gaza due to ongoing strikes. This is from Aurora Intel. Widespread power outages in Gaza due to ongoing strikes. Thank you, by the way, to Kevin Michael Reed. Kevin, if you go back about 20 minutes ago, I did a bit of a summary of how we got here. As to who fired the first shot, well, I don't know. It's these tensions have been building up for weeks, starting in Jerusalem. So
not for weeks,
but
for
go back about 20, 25 minutes, you
yo.
can hear me talk about this. Thank you, Kevin Michael Reed. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin. Frank Vernus. Thank you, Frank. Frank says ground operations changes everything. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. K-Wick1, thanks for your support. Bruh, thanks for your support. Okay. You are watching live, Agenda Free TV, our live coverage of the fighting with Israel and Gaza, the hostilities, and huge news. Just about a half an hour ago, these huge amount of explosions were seen on feeds of Gaza, and reports of heavy. I just saw a couple more explosions on one of the streams I'm watching. And now Israel has acknowledged that air and ground troops are attacking in the Gaza Strip. So some kind of ground operation is underway now. I don't know how big it is. I would assume that's. I don't know if it's to attack people or equipment, but Israel is putting ground troops into Gaza to I'm pretty darn certain they're going to say it's the point is to reduce the attacking capability and stop the rocket attacks from Gaza, which have been going on for days. But very big news, very big news. Okay, Parallel Universe says N12 News, hold on. N12 News live from Sderot, non-stop violent explosions, Israel, Gaza. Is Sderot right near, I bet Sderot is right near like Gaza. Right? Yeah. So what he's saying is there's an Israeli news broadcast, an Israeli news station that's broadcasting from Sderot, and they can see what's, they probably have a camera and they're looking at Gaza. So again, Parallel Universe is in Israel and says N12 News live from Sderot is showing non-stop violent explosions. Oh, this is interesting. Parallel Universe says Roy Sharon 11, who's with Khan News, says there are ground troops on the border not crossing it, but launching strikes into the strip from that area. Parallel Universe says it's not clear what the phrase ground troops means at this point. Let's see what Roy Sharon, did he post about this? What did he say? Aggressive attacks by the Israeli Defense Forces very much now, said Roy Sharon. He's a reporter in Israel. Mostly from the air, but also forces from infantry brigades and tanks fire lots of mortar and fire and shells from the ground. This is not a ground entry to the strip area. All right. This is a Khan News military correspondent, a military reporter, Israeli reporter, says this is not a ground operation in Gaza. Hold on. Let me show you this. This is not a ground entry into Gaza. Says ground forces are firing into Gaza. Hold on, I want to make sure I have this right. Sorry. He says forces from infantry brigades and tanks fire lots of mortar fire and shells from the ground. Okay. Israeli reporter says this is not a ground entry into Gaza, says ground forces are firing into Gaza. That's from Roy Sharon. He's a military reporter. He's a reporter on military affairs in Israel. That's what he says.
My high school classmate, yo.
That's interesting. So what exactly is going on with these ground troops, I don't know. But they did mention ground forces. Hold on a second here. Where is it here? There it is. Prime Minister Netanyahu posted. Prime Minister Netanyahu posted. He just posted from Israel. I said we would charge a very heavy price from Hamas. We do it and we will continue to do it with great intensity. The last word was not said, and this operation will continue as long as necessary. We give 100% backing to the police, the border police, and the rest of the security forces to restore law and order to the cities of Israel. We will not tolerate anarchy. I don't know if this is anything, there's nothing really specific about the ground operation in here. He just posted this right now. Nothing specific I see. Okay. A video of northern Gaza from Aleph. I am watching, so I'm keeping an eye on a couple streams. Reuters Live has a stream, RT and Vivo has a stream. Again, I believe those streams are Gaza City. So, you know, there can be, if you're watching a stream of Gaza, it doesn't mean you're going to see all the strikes in Gaza. All right, we're trying to bring you updates here. Intel Crab says fires everywhere. He's looking at the Al Jazeera Arabic stream. Fires everywhere. The sound of ambulances is absolutely deafening. Non-stop artillery throughout much of Gaza. Now, I haven't listened to any of the streams I'm watching. Let me see what I hear. I can't really listen to the streams during the broadcast because I'm talking to you. Yes, I am hearing ambulance sirens on the streams from Gaza. I just listened in for a second, and there's definitely ambulance sirens going on the streams I have. Okay.
I'm gonna check out one of these live Gaza streams, yo. Gaza live.
switched from State Farm because of this site. They had me paying $163 a month for my new car, and I got a rate for just $86. Full coverage. That's $77 a month I get to save. Try it, it works. All you have to do is click on the link, enter some really basic info about your car, and see how much money you can save. It's that easy. Check it out.
The results strongly support that these beings are not closely related to any
I guess this live stream doesn't have any sound because it says live, but you can see shit like flashing in the background and whatnot, but it ain't got no sound going on.
Good morning, welcome to Breakfast with Naga Manchetti and Charlie State.
Our headlines today: violence continues between Israeli forces and Palestinian militants as world leaders appeal for calm.
Scientists meet amid concerns over the spread of the Indian COVID variant.
An extraordinary young man. Tributes are paid to 9-year-old Jordan Banks, who was struck by lightning in his hometown of Blackpool.
He was struck by lightning.
The great summer getaway, or is it? As one online travel agent cancels all summer holidays until the end of August, doubts emerge over just how difficult it could be to travel this year. So what are your rights to a refund? Now look at all you need to know.
Good morning. The winding road to the Champions League final. UEFA are expected to announce that the venue will be moved from Istanbul to Porto later today.
Good morning. Today we've got some rain across the southwestern quarter of the UK. It's currently quite heavy, but will turn more showery as it sinks southwards and eastwards through the rest of the day. But for most of us, it's a day of sunshine and showers. I'll have all the details coming up.
Good morning, it's Thursday the 13th of May. Our top story this morning: Israel's president has warned of a senseless civil war, and world leaders have appealed for calm as violence continued overnight.
Palestinian militants launched dozens of rockets at Israel after Israeli airstrikes destroyed a tower block in Gaza City and killed some senior commanders.
67 Palestinians and 7 Israelis have now died since the clashes began on Monday. Courtney Bembridge has this report and a warning: there are some flashing images.
It was another night of explosions in Gaza City as heavy Israeli airstrikes and Palestinian rocket fire continued. In the West Bank, Palestinians threw stones at Israeli forces and were met with bullets. In the Tel Aviv suburb of Lod, Palestinian protesters torched a synagogue and confronted motorists.
They heard that my accent was not Arab, ran up to my car and they started throwing stones. I was lucky that there were no cars behind, so I reversed. I drove full gas in reverse. I almost ran into people and cars. I didn't see anything. I saw death. Death. Do you know what death is? People jumping at me with stones, throwing stones at me.
In nearby Petah Tikva, this residential building was hit by a Palestinian rocket. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to stop the violence.
This is anarchy. Nothing can justify it. And I will tell you more than that. Nothing can justify a lynching of Jews by Arabs, and nothing can justify a lynching of Arabs by Jews. We will not accept this. This is not us, not this violence, not this savagery. We will bring back governance to Israel's cities everywhere, in all cities.
World leaders have also called for calm, and the US President Joe Biden spoke to Benjamin Netanyahu over the phone.
My expectation and hope is that this will be closing down sooner than later. But Israel has a right to defend itself when you have thousands of rockets flying into your territory.
The US is sending a top diplomat to the Middle East to try to de-escalate the conflict, but the Palestinian leader is standing firm.
I direct my speech, especially to America and Israel. We're fed up. Go away from us. Leave us. We will stay like a thorn in your eyes. We will never leave our country. End your occupation today before tomorrow.
The clashes may have started in Jerusalem, but they've now spread across the country, and it may be too late to contain the anger. Courtney Bembridge, BBC News.
Well, let's speak now to our Middle East correspondent.
My bad. I'm sitting here watching this shit like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy, yo.
Bring us up to date with the what's been happening overnight, and also any more from the politicians.
Yo, this shit is crazy, bro.
Good morning. Well, as you know, there was more violence overnight. There were dozens of rockets that were fired into central.
So what do y'all think about all this shit, man? Yo, oh my God, yo. But these motherfuckers been fighting over Palestine for goddamn 70 fucking years, yo. So what y'all think gonna happen with this shit, man? Like, I definitely, they gonna wind up calling in the UN or maybe even the US. Go over there and fucking help them up. This shit is just ethnic cleansing, yo. They out there stoning niggas to death, yo. So they can own the fucking land, yo. Ethnic cleansing. Cause the fucking Bible says, oh, this is the promised land or whatever. Fuck all that shit, man. Ethnic cleansing, ethnic cleansing. Motherfucking genocide. And the world is cool with that shit, yo. Man, dude, got me hungry as shit.
From the Gaza Strip. It doesn't sound as though there are that many reports of injuries caused by those, but certainly fragments of some rockets did land in some of the suburban areas of Tel Aviv down on the coast. Meanwhile, the Israelis carried out a whole waves of new airstrikes on targets in Gaza. Clearly, the rhetorical view from both sides is that there still has some way to go, and there's no obvious sign of the Israeli government or the Hamas leadership being willing to down tools and call for a ceasefire just yet. The other thing that is clearly of great concern is that, unlike previous rounds of violence, we are seeing, as you saw in your report just now, this spilling over into confrontations between Israel's Jewish and Arab citizens. That is an unusual feature. It is causing enormous concern among politicians here that the the uneasy relationship between Israel's own Jewish and Arab citizens is fraying and in some cases breaking down in the very places where they live side by side. Meanwhile, as you say, calls by international leaders for this all to calm down. We heard from Boris Johnson yesterday, and as you've just heard, Joe Biden saying that he feels that this will be over sooner rather than later. We're not quite sure why he should be confident of that, but his envoy is on his way to the region, and I think there is a feeling that an awful lot of diplomacy is now beginning to gather pace.
Paul, thank you very much.
Coronavirus infections in England are at their lowest level since August last year, but the Prime Minister has warned that the highly infectious Indian variant is of increasing concern.
The Government Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies will meet today to discuss the rising number of cases linked to the variant, particularly in some areas of the northwest. Our reporter Charlotte Wright has the details.
Coronavirus cases in the UK are at their lowest since August. But as we prepare to take more steps back towards normality, the government's Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies will meet today to discuss a variant that's causing growing unease.
The threat of this virus remains real, and new variants pose a potentially lethal danger, including the one first identified in India, which is an increasing concern here in the UK.
B1617.2 is one of 3 mutations contributing to India's deadly second wave. And although rates here are relatively low, more than 500 cases have now been identified in the UK, a marked increase over the previous week.
She said she doesn't want that comforter behind her. So I don't know what color I should make the background. I might make it like purple. Purple or blue. Some of my go-to colors for backgrounds, man. Purple, blue, man. Purple, blue. Which one you want? You don't want that background? Okay, then we gonna get a purple, a blue. He said if it happens, it happens, nigga. Yeah, but if it happens, it happens. How you gonna know if it happened or not? See, that's why you got to listen. I wouldn't even know they dropping bombs and shit, man. If I wasn't listening to the news, I gotta know what's happening some kind of way. Now that I know what's going on, hey, shit, you know what I'm saying? Hey, World War III, hey, whatever, nigga, shit. Bruh, listen, bruh. I got ammunition and I got food supplies. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have enough food in your house where you don't have to go to the grocery store for 6 weeks, you in trouble. I'm telling you now, you in trouble. Yo, when this whole COVID thing hit, man, I ain't had to worry about shit, bro. Motherfuckers rushing out to buy toilet tissue and water and canned goods. Man, my shit stay stocked. Yo, I remember 9/11, my guy. You know what I'm saying? 9/11. I'm from South Carolina. I'm from a hurricane state. I remember Hurricane Hugo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from a hurricane state. We just do that. You keep candles and batteries and flashlights and water and toiletries. You just keep that shit stockpiled, man. I don't know, people just forget to do that shit. So I grew up with just, my grandma used to can shit, you know what I'm saying? We can shit, we freeze shit, had a deep freezer full of shit, make sure you got all your canned goods. And that's how I was raised. Just in case a hurricane come or some crazy ass shit. And then especially after 9/11, oh man, look, man, you better have you a generator. You never know what's gonna happen. So when that first round of fucking COVID hit, that shit ain't even bother me. I buy toilet tissue by the case. I get 97 rolls of toilet tissue at one time. So I don't have to keep going back to the store to buy more shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Every time canned goods go on sale, I just buy canned goods just to buy them motherfuckers, man. Keep them on the shelf. We here for a good time, not a long time. And this is true. If you dead, you won't know you dead. But if I can see death coming, I'm definitely gonna try to dodge that motherfucker as hard as I can. I'm trying to stay at the party as long as I can, man. I like partying the joys of life. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I definitely enjoy my life. What they say, expect the best, but prepare for the worst. You know, you should always expect the best, but prepare for the worst. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry in the world, honestly. Like I say, because if anything happens, I'm good. I don't got to worry about shit. Them motherfucking running around talking about gas shortages and all this shit, man. I ain't worrying about no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It don't even make no sense. So we got a chicken shortage. And that shit ain't gonna bother me. Yeah, I try to stay set up enough where I don't have to worry. I have no worries. You know what I'm saying? I honestly have shit to worry about. That's why I can chill in the studio for hours and just make art. smoke doobies. Damn. Make art. Damn, that shit got strong as hell just now. It's getting close to the end. That's where all the THC build up at. Damn. Alright. So now we got the sketch done. I need to get some black acrylic paint. Let's outline this thing real quick. You're in the way. You're in the way. Let's get some of this.
Many of these are in Bolton, in Greater Manchester, where surge testing is being carried out. They've been linked to travel.
The violence between Israelis and Palestinians is worsening. Hamas has launched another barrage of rockets deep into Israel. And Israeli airstrikes are raining down in Gaza. These are live pictures from Gaza City, where we know more buildings have been struck and at least 83 Palestinians are reported to have died. 7 people have died in Israel. Well, the BBC's Paul Adams is in Jerusalem. Paul, as we can see from these pictures, night has fallen, but I assume the fighting hasn't stopped.
Well, I haven't had any reports of rocket attacks into Israel for a little while. In fact, I don't think there have been any casualties from rocket attacks into Israel today, although there were salvos earlier in the day. I think most of those were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. Airstrikes have continued at various times.
Not all the paints, because some of the paint in here is oil paint. And oil and water don't mix, bruh. You ain't gonna peel this oil paint out with no water. I'm about to use acrylic paints now. That's why I'm using water, but like some of them colors, and I just leave that shit in there because it's fucking oil tank. Now I just try to use the fucking black part. That's all I need. Clean out the one square. I mean the one circle. All that other shit is hard as fuck.
During the day in Gaza, with the Israelis still talking about having a wide array of Hamas targets that they want to hit. I think there's a really concerted feeling in the Israeli military that they want to inflict as much damage as they can on Hamas before this conflict is over. And you mentioned in your introduction there the possibility of a ground operation. We have seen some signs of troops massing on the border that could mark the prelude to something like a ground operation. And if it does happen, then it could be a rerun of what we saw in 2014, when it wasn't just scores of people who were killed, but thousands of people who were killed. And I think that's something that the Israelis are going to think pretty seriously about before pulling the trigger on an operation of that kind.
Paul, is anyone on either side doing anything to try and de-escalate this?
Not obviously, no. I mean, there is a bit of diplomacy in the wind. Joe Biden is sending a Middle East envoy to...
Why does America got to be the police of everything, yo?
We know that there are efforts going on behind the scenes which we're not really privy to, involving Egypt and Qatar and the kinds of players who often do get involved in negotiations between Israel and Hamas. We don't know what progress, if any, they're making, but all the rhetoric at the moment suggests that both sides are in this for, if not the long haul.
Nobody likes Hamas, and everybody sucks fucking Israel's dick, and they're gonna come in there and be like, "Yo, stop fucking with Israel, or we're gonna fuck you up." And they side with Israel every fucking time, yeah.
Turn because violence has broken out between Jews and Israeli Arabs in some of the worst clashes we've seen for years. Videos of attacks by Jewish and Israeli Arab mobs are being widely shared. One attack was caught on TV. Before we see it, a warning. This is shocking. We're seeing Jewish Israelis attacking a driver in Bat Yam, which is a coastal city south of Tel Aviv. According to local media, they first attacked Arab-owned property before turning on the driver.
The motherfucking
These
Jews.
next pictures of the incident are also distressing. This is before the group attack. As you can see, the driver is reversing from crowds. He's stopped by another car, then he drives towards them and stops, and then is pulled from his car and beaten. The crowds here say the man was trying to ram them, but that's disputed. Then we have these pictures from the town of Acre. This Israeli restaurant was destroyed in riots between Arabs and Jews. One Jewish man is reportedly in a serious condition after being attacked with sticks and rocks. Well, Israel's President, Reuven Rivlin, described the outbreaks of rioting as senseless civil war. And this is Israel's Prime Minister.
This is anarchy. Nothing can justify it. And I will tell you more than that. Nothing can justify a lynching of Jews by Arabs, and nothing can justify a lynching of Arabs by Jews. We will not accept this. This is not us, not this violence, not this savagery. We will bring back governance to Israel's cities everywhere, in all cities.
Well, an Arab-Israeli member of parliament had different words to describe what's happening. Ada Toum Sliman has told the BBC that Benjamin Netanyahu is stoking violence for personal reasons. Have a listen.
There is a political intention by the Prime Minister Netanyahu and his
because Netanyahu was put in power by America.
The situation more and more. If the debate in Israel and the discussion and the tension till last month was between Bibi's camp and the anti-Benjamin Netanyahu's camp, they wanted to divert it into a kind of a war, a citizens' war between Jews and Arabs. If those organized groups with weapons are still going to continue like this, I'm so afraid that we can lose control on the situation and it can become something really bad.
Never felt so close to the possibility of disclosure. The Nephilim, the giants. You can't make up that kind of stuff. They've overcome stage 4.
Now, we've seen violence in the centre of the city of Lod, where a state of emergency is in place. Our correspondent, Yolan Nell, is there.
All around Lodz, you've got scenes like this. Honestly, it looks like a war zone. You've got burnt-out cars, curbstones that are being ripped up in all the rioting that has taken place, and there are scorched buildings just along the street here. A Jewish school was set on fire next to the synagogue, and now there's a lot of police all around on the street corners. Residents are very nervous. I spoke to one Jewish mother. She told me that she'd always known there were tensions here, but she felt they were very much under the... But when you speak to some of the Arab residents, Palestinian citizens of Israel, they say that they have known there was this anger under the surface ready to erupt at any time. They've long felt like there was discrimination against them, that they were second-class citizens of Israel. And at the same time as all of this is playing out locally, we've had reminders of the conflict that's still going on between Israel and militants in Gaza, with rockets fired from the Gaza Strip. And that just made loud explosions over our heads.
Now, let's emphasise some important context here. During the war surrounding the creation of Israel in 1948, hundreds of thousands of Arabs were forced...
The creation of Israel in 1948, yo. This was after the civil rights movement in America, yo. I mean, right before the civil rights movement in America, yo. So now, like, Israel hasn't been a fucking state for a long time, yo. And they were fighting over that land from the Palestinians for like decades, yo. And that's the same shit. It's the same thing. Ever since the establishment of Israel, like, this shit is the same fucking shit that's going on, yo. This shit has never stopped because the motherfuckers don't wanna fucking give up, yo.
or fled their homes. Those who stayed in what became Israel and their ancestors have been granted Israeli citizenship and are known as Israeli Arabs. Currently, there are close to 2 million Israeli Arabs. 80% of them are Muslim, and the rest identify as either Christian or Druze. And most Israeli Arabs identify strongly with Palestinians in Gaza and in the occupied West Bank and call themselves Palestinian citizens of Israel. Well, Amnon Barare Sulet Zia Nonis is the CEO of the Abraham Initiatives. It's a group promoting integration and equality for Jewish and Arab Israeli citizens. These are his concerns.
Bottom line is that we are extremely, extremely worried. All of those who are worried about the integrity of Israeli society and coexistence between the Jewish majority and Palestinian minority within Israel. There are 20% Israeli citizens who are Palestinians, and everything seems to fall apart. There are thousands and thousands of meeting points between Jews and Arabs within Israel, in universities and colleges, in shopping centers, in workplaces, NGOs, government ministries, and those contact points are becoming very dangerous. There are confrontations, hostilities, actions of lynch coming from one community towards another, and this is very, very stressful. The feeling is that we are deteriorating into a situation that reminds us all of the Balkans years ago. That's very troubling.
Well, next we turn to Gaza, because there's no let-up in the conflict there either. Israel has intensified its bombardments. It's now hitting intelligence buildings and banks. This airstrike struck this morning on the first day of Eid. That's the Muslim festival that marks the end of Ramadan. The devastation, we're told, was significant. Meanwhile, Hamas is continuing to fire rockets from Gaza into Israel. It's also using drones. This is said to show Hamas militants preparing a suicide drone attack towards Israel. We should say this is unverified footage released by the Hamas War Office. So no let up in the fighting, no let up in the rhetoric. Here's the Prime Minister again, Benjamin Netanyahu.
The defensive actions of Iron Dome batteries give us space to mount attacks. The IDF has already attacked hundreds of targets. We're continuing to strike Hamas while defending our citizens.
And this is a Hamas spokesperson.
All Palestinians have resisted these atrocities, these oppressions, so everyone has chosen his own way to resist, but they have all of them rejected these policies of the Israelis. Therefore, again, the key is very simple, to withdraw the security forces from the Al-Aqsa compound and to stop ethnic cleansing of Palestinian people from Sheikh Jarrah. That's it. The aggression is clear.
Even he said it, ethnic cleansing.
Law,
Everybody know that's what it is, man. Jews is fucking, them Jews crazy, man. And Jews just trying to kill all them motherfuckers, man. And the world just sit back and watch, yo. That's how I know, like, sooner or later, man, some shit gonna pop off in this country too, yo. And the niggas gonna get it. If they don't get prepared enough to fight back.
Soundtracking your content can be tricky. It doesn't have to be. Discover more than 35,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects, and get unlimited downloads in over 170 genres. Start your
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Hey, did you watch the Canelo fight this weekend?
I was working.
You didn't see it at all?
I saw the highlights.
Jesus
he broke
Christ.
his face.
Bro, he hit so hard.
Broke that orbital bone.
He's one of those guys that, like, you know, some guys just have power, right? But he works on it all the time.
That's what I say. He's the most, in every fight, he's the most improved fighter. He always goes back and fixes anything he saw wrong.
Yep. Well, the Danny Jacobs fight, remember his head movement?
Yep.
That's, I mean,
they gave Danny problems.
We give anybody problems, but it was also like he was showing his head movement in that fight.
Yeah, because they used to say he just walked right in and then he fixed it. There was a video there's a video of Deontay Wilder yesterday. I saw it, and he's looking really good. Malik Scott King is training him now.
What is he doing with him?
Oh, he looks like a completely different fighter. I think if you could find that.
Oh, is he like using a lot of jabs?
Jabs
video?
And planting his feet. And it looks like a boxer now. He doesn't look like a wild man just leaping off his feet and throwing these wild punches. And I'm excited to see him fight now because he looked really sharp. Looked like a real boxer now.
Don't you think he needs a few fights like that with lower tier competition?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Sitting on him, bam.
The jab is very important.
Yeah,
but he's going to need some tune-up fights, don't you think?
He should definitely have just to see how that style works in the ring. But he's moving. You see the way he's moving? He never moved like that before.
But again, he's a guy that has fucking preposterous power.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Power's so weird, you know?
It is because he's so thin, you know, like where's it coming from?
Well, Tommy Hearns.
Yeah, well, Tommy
Hearns he knocked Roberto Duran out cold.
Second round.
There's just guys that just have preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz, and they're you know that shield, that weird hand shield that they hold up?
When you hold.
For hooks.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is not for speed, this is just power. He's like, don't try to be fast with this, just power.
Yeah.
And he's seeing just, hey, boom, everything is. And so in that fight with Billy Joe, and Billy Joe kept doing that same lean over and over, like after he would punch, he would lean out of the way, and he just timed it perfectly with that uppercut.
Yep.
And threw everything in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. He really watches you in a fight. He's not like some knucklehead who knows how to. He really pays it. He's very aware. And to me, I was never a Canelo guy before, but after the past 5 fights, I was like, you know what? If I'm not a Canelo fan now, I'm a fucking hater. Yeah. But I am a fan now because I really appreciate his work ethic, you know, and the way he fucking look at
it. This. See, it's about power. Yeah, see, this is the thing they're working on.
That's why I tested to you.
And he'll do that over and over and over again. So he's a guy who already had big power, but he's constantly working and developing that power. So like in a fight like the Saunders fight, there was massive consequences to anything that Saunders did. Canelo is in this weird place where he's kind of cleaned out the division, right? He's got Caleb Plant.
Right.
And not just that division, he's kind of cleaned out a lot of divisions. Triple G is still in the fucking running, which is interesting.
He hasn't fought in 2 years.
No, he fought recently. Triple G fought.
He fought last year.
I seen.
It's been a year though, definitely since he fought.
I don't think it's quite a year because I was in.
I was getting off work, like the parking lot where I work. I'm pulling out the parking lot. He just drove by in traffic. This nigga.
But he looked fucking good, dude. He not only looked good, he looked ripped. So I was like, piss test, please. Because he's like 38. And
I think he's bordering 40 real quick.
Looked as good as he's ever looked. He looked phenomenal. December.
Oh, December.
There you go.
Oh, okay, so it's not been that long then.
Yeah. So yeah.
So is he fighting? When the fuck is he fighting again then?
Well, they're talking about him possibly fighting Canelo.
I don't think that's a good fight for him anymore.
For him, maybe not, but maybe the last chance at romance. I mean, how much more of an option does he have? I mean, where's he going to go? What else does he have? The first fight, I thought he won.
Definitely, I was at that one.
Yeah, I thought he won the first fight.
I was ringside there.
The second fight, very close. Very close. And Teddy Atlas was saying they should have given it to Triple G. A lot of other people favored Canelo, but a much better performance for Canelo. But I think Canelo, like we said, these guys like Kamaru Usman, like Canelo Alvarez, like these guys who are just consummate champions. You're just going to get a better version of them every single time they step into the ring. Catch new episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience for free, only on Spotify. Watch back catalog JRE videos on Spotify, including clips. Easily, seamlessly switch between video and audio experience. On Spotify, you can listen to the JRE in the background while using other apps and can download episodes to save on data costs, all for free. Spotify is absolutely free. You don't have to have a premium account to watch new JRE episodes. You just need to search for the JRE on your Spotify app.
Joe Rogan be giving a long spiel about going to Spotify. We get it, Rogan. No more full episodes on YouTube. Your full episodes are only on Spotify. We get it. I get it, bro.
I'm going to show you a sneaky yet ethical way to make money with properties you don't own. Check this out. And it's called rental.
Alright, let me wash this brush out. Well, maybe I don't have to wash it out right now. If I just put, I got some more water up here.
So we're here with Dr. Ken, and can you make some comments, please, about what it is that the viewers are looking at?
We're looking at a skeletal structure, and based on the pelvic bones, is likely a female. Based on the size of the humerus and the size of the femur, we're looking at someone that may be 5 feet to 5 feet 4 inches in height. Based on the degeneration of the bony structures and lack of degeneration of the bony structures, this is a very young individual, likely 20 years of age, plus or minus 5. Younger than that, actually. As you take a look at the teeth structure here, we're looking at teeth, and then we're looking at teeth that are underneath it, still within the maxilla. So we're looking at teeth that are not pronounced yet. So the teeth that are exposed are the baby teeth. So that puts this as a younger child. So we are looking at a child.
So how old would you estimate based on the teeth?
Based on the teeth, you're looking at between 8 and 12 years old. So, again, looking at the skull, looking at the orbital features, you've got the sutures along the orbital floor which haven't quite fused, which goes along with a young individual, but their orbital apex has a single hole, which goes along with more for normal orbits, normal globes, normal eye socket, or normal eyes. The anterior fontanelle is posteriorly displaced, approximately 7 centimeters from normal. The sagittal structures are normal. There are no extra sagittal sutures. So we are looking at a human being with a variant skull.
And based on your medical expertise, you do not think this is the result of cranial deformation or head binding?
Definitely not. If you look at the bowing of the frontal bone, it's not flattened, so it's unlikely that this is the result of cranial deformation.
So it is quite possible that this individual was born with this elongated
Yes,
head.
this individual was born with a skull structure exactly like this. This skull is different than that of the skulls in Paracas because the occipital bone is not protruding posteriorly as the Paracas skull has got. And also there are no extra sutures along the posterior aspect.
So Ken, based on what you've seen of the larger skeleton that is in the glass case, what could you tell us about it?
I believe it's a young female who didn't die from trauma, and based on the skull, there certainly are a lot of human features, but it has an elongated skull, and so the question is that a genetic variant, or is that something that is non-human? And the answer is I don't know. But it certainly is a young female.
And what age would you estimate?
I would estimate between 8 and 12 years of age. Most of the teeth have erupted, and those are permanent teeth that you're looking at, but there is one tooth on the right that still has a unerupted tooth yet. So you're looking at an older child.
Of 8 to
12. 8 to 12 years of age.
So you heard it, not just from a physician, not just from an anatomy expert, but from an American-trained radiologist, that what he was looking at was a child with an elongated head. He stated that he believes that the child was born with that elongated head, and he also believes that it has mainly human characteristics, but the skull itself is not that of a Homo sapiens sapiens, most likely. So the next question is, who was it?
However, the cause of death is not trauma.
Okay.
A phone plan by Google. Meet Simply Unlimited, our most affordable plan for unlimited data, calls, and texts, with rates starting as low as $30 per month for each line. Try Simply Unlimited today.
Minnie in Canada has been on hold for a long time. Thanks so much for your patience. I don't know if one of us are qualified to do your call justice, but you had a question about. It seems to me that what's entered here says molecular evolution is insufficient to disprove the possibility of God. Is that what you're calling in to talk about?
So I'm here to present a few arguments in favor of God's existence. So my first argument is intended to refute the Darwinian theory of evolution, according to which we were created from animals or primitive living organisms, because it's one thing to believe in the mechanisms of molecular evolution and another to assert that we evolved from animals. So
okay, so first of all, Minnie, I just want to get some clarification here. So first of all, we are animals, but let's say you were able to disprove our evolution, the theory of evolution by means of natural selection, the cornerstone of biology. Let's assume that you could call into our little atheist show and disprove it. Hang on. Would we agree that disproving evolution does not prove God?
So my purpose here is to show or demonstrate that molecular evolution does exist, but it is not enough to disprove the possibility of God.
Okay, Minnie, stop. Listen to me. That's what I asked you at the beginning. You're saying molecular evolution is not sufficient to disprove the possibility of God. At no point have I or any biological scientist claimed that evolution disproves the possibility of a God. So you're wanting to prove something that none of us have said or advocated for. I don't think that evolution disproves the possibility of God. I haven't seen the possibility of a God demonstrated or debunked. I find it to be an unfalsifiable proposition, and we have no idea if it's possible or not. But you can sit here and disprove evolution, and that won't prove God.
Okay, so my original intention was for the listeners that might use science conveniently to kind of just say that we don't need God. But I can move on my second argument to kind of like complement my belief in God, if that's easy with you.
Hi, Minnie.
Yes.
Can I talk to you for a second? Hi, so first of all, again, thank you for phoning in. It's a privilege to talk to you. It's nice to meet you. And you have a really nice voice, by the way. You have a nice phone manner. You should use that. You should get into some job that involves your voice. It's a really nice listening voice. Here's what I'd like to ask you. I think you're aware that neither Matt nor I are scientists. Am I correct? Do you think you could do, you yourself might not be very money-minded, but if you had $1.1 million, could you do a lot of good with that, even if you didn't want to keep it for yourself? You'd like to do charitable things and change people's lives and do some good in the world if you had $1.1 million? Would that be a good thing, you think?
I'm not sure if I understood, but with that amount of money you would like to spend it on other people,
right.
Take care of the world.
Here's what you can do. The current value of the Nobel Prize which is awarded for physiology or medicine, is approximately $1.1 million. Now, if your arguments are good, if they are sound, if they will stand up to scrutiny, and you can present them to people who can evaluate them, in other words, scientists who know about this area, unlike myself and Matt, you would probably be in line because evolutionary theory has been around for so long, it seems so robust and it seems so multiple supported by so many different areas of science, you would probably get a Nobel Prize for your work if you were right. And you may well be right, I'm not saying you're not. And that would give you it's worth about 1.1 million. But you see, Matt and I can't evaluate it because we're not qualified to, unfortunately.
Okay, then I would like to present my second argument with epistemology. I know that's theory of knowledge, that there are many ways to acquire knowledge, and these sources include perception, reason, memory, and personal testimony. So I just want to share a brief testimony of how I became a born-again Christian and tell you why it wasn't just a false positive.
Minnie?
Yeah, the show's not really about sharing testimony, though. Over to you, Matt.
I have a question. If you share your personal testimony, why do you think that should convince anybody?
Okay, well, because I will tell you why it wasn't just a false positive, because in science we have negative controls. We basically compare two conditions, one in which we don't expect to observe. Yes?
It's never about personal testimony.
You're not answering my question. I wanted to know, so like, do you realize that I was a Southern Baptist fundamentalist Christian from the time I was 5 until I was 30-something? I had a personal testimony. I've met people with personal testimonies. I've heard countless personal testimonies. Well, the thing is, when you talk about epistemology, yes, personal testimony is one of the ways that people get information. Let's say there are 3 people who offer their personal testimony. Know that they can't all be true. They could potentially all be false, but we know they can't all be true. How do we tell whether or not somebody's personal testimony is accurate? And how do we tell if what the conclusion they've reached is true? What is the epistemology that lets me determine Minnie had an amazing experience, and I'm happy to hear what it was. What is the epistemology that can make me conclude that because you had an experience that led you to conclude there's a God, I should also conclude there's a God?
Okay, can I answer this indirectly by just providing evidence for the resurrection? Spiritual manifestations of the Holy Spirit. What the Spirit is based on, consistent with or verified by us.
All right. Oh, damn. I gotta clean this brush out. Let me take this brush down and clean that shit out. Shit. Alright, guys. Yo, appreciate everybody stopping by the studio. Check out the work on the new paintings and stuff. I'll holla at y'all next time. Peace.